in the sweltering jungle heat of Vietnam, 1968, where the air was thick with smoke and fear, two young soldiers, Tommy Hayes and Danny Lopez, faced the kind of moment that changes a man forever. They had arrived in country together, barely out of high school. Tommy was a Kansas farm boy with dirt still under his nails. Danny, a quiet kid from New Mexico who used to sketch fighter planes in the back of class. They met in basic training, became inseparable in boot camp, and by the time they were flown into the heart of the war, they were closer than brothers. They shared everything: meals, foxholes, cigarettes, stories from home. They wrote letters for each other when one was too tired to lift a pen. When one cried in the dark, the other didn't speak, just sat close and stayed quiet. That's the kind of bond only war can forge. On a brutal afternoon in June, their unit was ambushed near Khe Sanh. Gunfire erupted from the trees, and mortars shattered the ground. In the chaos, Danny took a hit to the lower abdomen. He fell hard, bleeding out fast in the thick mud, barely conscious. Tommy crawled to him under fire, ignoring the shouts to fall back. "Go, Tommy," Danny gasped. "Leave me, go." But Tommy wouldn't move. He pressed his body against Danny's to protect him from incoming rounds. For nearly 3 hours, through the rain of bullets and the screams of wounded men, Tommy stayed. He tore strips from his own shirt to stop the bleeding. He whispered jokes. He told stories from back home about the time they snuck into the fair, about the girl Danny had a crush on, about the plane Danny wanted to build when he got out. Anything to keep his friend awake. Anything to keep him alive. As the sun dipped behind the trees and the battle raged on, Danny's breathing slowed, his grip weakened. In his final moments, he turned his head slightly and whispered, "Thank you for staying, brother." Then he was gone. Tommy didn't cry, not then. He sat there with Danny's body until nightfall, until the medics arrived. He handed them his friend's dog tags and walked away, slower than before, older than before, carrying a grief too heavy for a 19-year-old heart. In a letter home to Danny's mother, Tommy wrote, "I couldn't save him, ma'am, but I didn't let him die alone. He was brave. He smiled at the end. He wasn't afraid." History rarely remembers boys like Tommy Hayes. There are no statues built in their honor, no parades in their name. But in the quiet spaces of war, in the in-between moments where bullets fly and time stands still, heroes are made. Not because they charged a hill or took a bunker, but because they stayed. When they could have run, they stayed. Tommy Hayes didn't win a medal that day. He didn't need one. He gave something greater than valor. He gave his friend the only thing he had left to give: his presence, his loyalty, and the promise that no man would die alone. Subscribe for more good old days.